You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the November 17th, 2020 meeting of the Town Council Charter Review Committee. In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, this meeting is being videotaped and audio recorded, as well as being remotely broadcasted via a Zoom webinar. If there is anyone in our viewing audience who is taping this meeting, would you please announce yourself? Seeing and hearing none, first order, who would be so lovely to take minutes today?
I'll do it this week.
Thank you, Bill. I got a note from Jeannie. She will be unable to attend. And also Tom Christensen is absent and he doesn't know if he has a DPW meeting, so he will try.
And no Mike either.
No Mike either.
Right.
What about Ralph?
I had no word from Ralph. And
Okay.
Jeff, you cannot hear us, correct? Okay. I don't know what's wrong. I did pay the bill. We first have minutes of October 13th, 2020 for approval. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second,
Andy made the motion, Marilyn seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, Bill Fonseca,
Yes.
Larry Levine, yes. Marilyn Richards,
yes.
Bill Adams,
Yes.
Andy Frazier,
Yes.
it's approved. We have minutes of the meeting of November 10th, 2020. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
By Marilyn. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Andy. Any discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor, Bill Fonseca,
Yes.
Larry Levine, yes. Marilyn Richards,
Yes.
Bill Adams,
Yes.
Andy Frazier.
Yes.
Good, it's approved. Okay.
Oh,
I
there's,
don't know who that
there's
is.
Jeff.
Who is
Okay.
it? Jeff?
Jeff Bosworth. I'll rename him.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, computer problems.
We understand. We got a note from Jeannie regarding some inclusions that we had approved, and they were to Article 10. And just for everyone's confirmation, the first one was in Section 2. We had approved an additional line saying the recommendations were accepted and approved on, and the date to insert is August 8th, 2017, period. And then we also, on Article 10, Section 6, we approved an additional line that said, the voters of the town adopted the charter on, and the date to insert is April 12th, 2016. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Okay. We left off on Article 10, Section 7. We are about to begin the subparagraph that's entitled School Committee Election and Office. Am I correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Good. And it so states, the school committee members shall continue their service as elected in April 2016, period. There shall be no additional election for school committee members in June 2016, period. School committee members in office on the effective date of this charter shall continue to serve for the balance of the staggered terms for which they were elected, with each of their terms being extended by approximately 2 months to correspond with future regular town elections, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing or hearing none, no action on that paragraph. The next paragraph is entitled Interim Executive. It reads, "The Board of Selectmen shall be abolished at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on July 1st, 2016, period. Upon the date of taking effect of this charter on April 13th, 2016, the Board of Selectmen shall continue to exercise the executive functions of the town until the board is abolished, comma, provided that the Board of Selectmen shall neither create nor eliminate any position, comma, neither hire nor terminate any employee or elected official, comma, nor execute or extend any employment contract during the transition, comma, except for matters not admitting of delay, period." Questions, comments, discussion? Seeing and hearing none, no action. The next paragraph is entitled Interim Board of Health. Members of the Board of Selectmen in office on July 1st, 2016 shall continue to serve as the Board of Health for a term of no fixed duration, only until the interim or permanent town manager makes permanent appointments to the Board of Health, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing, hearing none, no action. Next paragraph is entitled Board Transitions. The members of the Board of Assessors, comma, Board of Public Works, comma, Library Trustees, comma, Planning Board, and the elected members of the Housing Authority in office on the effective date of this charter shall continue to serve for the balance of the terms for which they were elected, period. Upon the expiration of the term of office or upon a sooner vacating of the office by any member of the Board of Assessors, comma, Board of Public Works, comma, Library Trustees, comma, Planning Board, and the elected members of the Housing Authority, comma, such successor shall be appointed as provided in this charter, period. Questions, comments, discussion? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Next paragraph is entitled Limitations on Office Holding. Notwithstanding Article 2, comma, Board of Selectmen, comma, Board of Health members and town councilors may hold multiple offices during the transition period between the charter's adoption and the appointment of permanent Board of Health members only, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Next is Section 8, Departments. Until such time as another form of organization is established in accordance with Article 5 of this charter, comma, the following departmental organization shall be in effect in the town, colon. Subparagraph A, Department of Municipal Finance. There shall be established a Department of Municipal Finance under the direction of the town manager, period. The town manager shall appoint a director of municipal finance, who shall be a person especially suited by education, training, and previous experience to perform the duties of the office, period. The director shall be responsible for the supervision and coordination of all municipal finance operations of the town that are placed under control of the director by this charter, period. The department shall assume all of the powers and duties now vested in or exercised by any of the following departments and offices, town accountant, collector/treasurer, and assessors, period. The director may hold one of these positions, period. Any comments and questions on that subparagraph?
How was that worked? Did the director wind up taking, which position did the director wind up taking, is what I wanted to ask.
In the
Marilyn?
first,
I'm sorry.
when the charter first was enacted, Andy,
Yep,
the town accountant acted as director of municipal finance as well.
okay.
At the time, they didn't split it.
All right, got it.
Is it split now?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Marilyn, you look puzzled.
No, it's split. We have a town accountant, we have a collector treasurer. They're in different offices.
No, we're talking about director of municipal finance,
That is the accountant.
not necessarily.
No, but it is what it is now, the account.
Okay, it's same, it's one and the same?
Right.
Okay,
But that is just the individual holds both of those roles,
Correct.
which is allowed by the charter.
right.
Okay. Satisfied, Andy?
Yep, thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, no action on that. Subparagraph B, town clerk. The town manager shall appoint a town clerk who shall be a person especially suited by education, training, and relevant experience to perform the duties of the office, period. The town clerk shall have all of the powers which are conferred on the town clerk by general laws and such additional powers and duties as may be provided by this charter, by bylaw, by the town manager, or otherwise, and not inconsistent with said grant of powers conferred by general laws, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Subparagraph C, Planning and Community Development Department. There shall be established a Planning and Community Development Department under the direction of the town manager, period. The town manager shall appoint a director of Planning and Community Development who shall be a person especially suited by education, training, and previous experience to perform the duties of the office, period. The Planning and Community Development Department shall coordinate the functions of the boards, offices, and departments involved in land use regulation and management, including but not limited to, building department, planning department, zoning board of appeals, and conservation commission, period. The director may also serve concurrently as the director or manager within one of the divisions included in the department, period. Comments, questions, discussion? Yes, Jeff?
I was wondering why conservation is included in that. Because the Conservation Commission is a mandated federal and state organization that has statutory authority which means we have the ability or we have the authority to levy fines, which these others don't. I'm just wondering why conservation was put in under that.
Go for it, Bill.
Trying to recall. I
All
think that
right,
was just, I think that's just where we figured it was a natural fit.
The other reason was in the past, the department head of the planning board was involved with conservation.
Yep.
And that was one of the reasons. Planning board, I know planning board has statutory guidelines as well under Massachusetts general laws. I don't know if they have the ability to fine, but they are established pursuant to Massachusetts general law. But I think because the involvement of then and previous department heads of each of those was probably the reason for the primary reason for that consolidation. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, everybody.
Are you good, Jeff?
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments on Planning and Community Development Department? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Next section is section 9, appointed boards. Until such time as another form of organization is established in accordance with Article 5 of this charter, the following appointed boards shall be in effect in the town, subparagraph A, Board of Assessors, B is Board of Public Works, C, Library Trustees, D, Planning Board, E, Housing Authority, and F, Board of Health. Any comments or questions on that?
Sorry, Bill, does that, I know I'm asking you because we're going through all this in the bylaws. Does that look like everything?
What do you mean everything?
I'm sorry, so all the boards are listed in the bylaws as well, and I just wanted to make sure we added a bunch of departments that were not listed in the bylaws previously, and I can't recall, and I don't have it in front of me, if that's everything in terms of the appointed boards.
I don't have it in front of me either, but, and it's been a while since I looked at it. I would say we can probably table this for now. You and I can look into it and come back next meeting and figure that out, because I'm not exactly sure. Because where do we put the building inspector?
So right now, the building inspector is in, their building department is in planning and community development.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But the conversation was Bethany's the director of planning and
Right.
community development, and Kevin does not report to her.
right, that's why I said, is he his own appointed department?
That
Technically,
practically he is a department head, but in
Yes.
terms of the charter and the bylaws, he is underneath the planning and community development director.
okay,
So there was that. We
I
weren't
know.
sure where we were headed with that.
all right.
Do you mind, Larry, if we just put a pin in that, just so me and Bill can just check and Ralph for that matter,
Yeah.
just to make sure. I mean, we're doing the bylaws over. I mean, we might as well make sure we have
All right,
everything
so
matches.
you want to do that all for section 9?
No,
No,
I just,
Well-
I mean, we may have to we may either have to add, or we'll probably have to maybe, if anything, add something and then like a letter G or something to that. But we can go through
Okay,
I don't think the descriptions of the boards that are listed will change.
No, it might be, just like to your point, it might be adding something, Tom.
Right. And I guess for that matter, should Concom be here? I mean,
Well, technically, COMCOM is appointed. I mean, it's mandated federally and by state that every town and city has to have it. But the positions are appointed by the town manager.
right, which is sort of
And
where,
they,
Oh, we wrangled
they-
with that one too.
so yes, obviously,
my thoughts go back to the Charter Commission. And I think it was necessary to list these appointed boards because they effectively became non-elected on the date the charter went into effect.
That's why they're here.
What's that?
That's why they're here.
That's correct. And
Okay.
But
so
since,
I don't see a problem if you wanted to add further boards that were appointed. You already have that language prior, the town manager has that authority. But if you wanted to list them specifically, I don't see any harm. But that was the reason that we had to put it in the charter.
right.
They went from elected on one day to appointed the following day.
I see.
So-
I see.
So maybe then to that point, Larry, we can probably leave this the same. Because we're talking about a transition.
That's correct. That's
So
correct.
this is only how we're moving forward from one form of government to the other.
That's correct. So look this as if you were looking in April of 2016, for it to go into effect when, July 1st, or
Yeah.
whenever the date is.
Yeah,
And so it's merely saying that they go from elected at that point to appointed. Yes, Marilyn?
And as I see it here, once the select board was eliminated, it eliminated the Board of Health, and that's why you had to add the Board of Health to this section.
Okay.
Because they were
Right.
not elected. They were elected as part of the select board.
yeah, but that was part of their duty.
True, but once the board was eliminated, you needed to put the Board of Health somewhere.
Yeah, right, right.
That's why that's there. Hi, Ralph.
Hey,
Hey,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Sorry, I'm so late.
You're terrible.
So, Tom, to your point, we can go through this but remember, it's only for that aspect of the transition.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
And so,
we're good.
that, whatever that's worth. Yes, Bill?
We're good because we're talking, we're talking about the transition. We're not talking about what's going on today.
Yep.
This section was for the transition.
Yep.
Moving them from elected to appointed.
Yep.
So I
Okay.
think we're good.
All right, so A was all right with everyone?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that first paragraph. It continues, notwithstanding section 7, the town manager shall assure timely appointments of members, and may establish a process whereby residents are notified of vacancies and may apply to serve, period. Initial appointments shall be arranged to achieve the staggered terms as described in the charter, period. The town manager shall seek to maintain as full a complement of members on each board as is reasonably possible, period. The manager shall fill all vacancies, whether due to resignation, removal from the town, or other circumstances, period. Comments on that paragraph? Seeing and hearing none, no action on that. Subparagraph A, Board of Assessors. There shall be a Board of Assessors with 3 members, each serving staggered 3-year terms, with one member appointed each year, period. The Board of Assessors shall perform any state or federally mandated functions or those established by town bylaw, comma, but shall not supervise town employees. Period. Questions, comments, discussion? So, Bill and
Yes.
Ralph, the way I read this now, and probably reading it 4 years ago, so the Board of Assessors can't tell the employees or department head what to do.
Right,
Okay.
because the assessor reports to the town manager.
Right, and so does the department head.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Any other
So-
comments? I'm sorry, go Ralph.
So Larry, I had brought up when the charter was being done that I had concerns over this. And I'm going to use, let's say, the planning board as an instance. If they need something done, in the past, they used to be able to direct their director to, hey, we need this researched and let us know at the next meeting. We thought that it would continue in that same form, where if they need something done because they're not able to do it, the director or the head of the department would do it. I know some instances where that's been a problem with different boards, that basically the director comes back and says, I don't work for you. I don't know if there's a way to fix it or not, without having the employees, the boards being in charge of an employee. I mean, our thought when we did the charter was, well, if there's an issue, go to the town manager and the town manager will fix it. But I will tell you, the first town manager we had didn't fix it.
Mhm.
Things just kept getting worse and worse. Obviously, we got a new town manager and Mary's been great with it.
And we don't have that department head anymore.
Again, that's one instance. I'm just, I don't know if it's working exactly the way we had hoped it would. But I don't know if there's a fix to it right at the moment.
I presume that's all rhetorical, not.
Well,
not-
again, I'm just wondering, I mean, if there's something that anyone can think of that can be done, or any way, any wording or whatever, that doesn't mandate that the director follow what the board says, but sort of encourages it.
Well, hopefully we have that cooperation and we don't have an outpouring of problems, friction, etc. Other than the department head you speak of and having personal contact with my day job. I'm not hearing the friction and that problem existing between an appointed board and a department head, but I'm on the outside now, so.
And so am
Is
I.
it- I was just going to ask, has there been any other examples of that outside of the one that you brought up since?
Well, I'm going to bring up conservation for another example. Is Bill asked, Bethany to do something with regards to conservation issues, or hey, this is the way we do it, and they get told, no, that's not the way it's done. I run the department, not you. And she's correct in that. I mean, I'm not saying that she isn't correct and all in it. I'm just saying that occasionally between boards and directors, there's friction. It may not be anywhere near what it used to be, but again, I just don't know, looking at the charter, if there's any way to adjust it slightly to fix anything, or is it just saying, hey, let the town manager know and let them deal with it?
Bill?
I think that's the best solution, Ralph, because a lot of this is personality conflicts too. And I don't think there's an easy fix here. I understand your problem or what's going on, but I don't think I hope it's not widespread. And I think it's just, let the town manager deal with it, because that's why we wrote the charter the way we did.
Any other comments?
Larry, I'm just looking at the Board of Public Works.
Uh-huh.
It says, it's got a sentence in there that's not in the other ones. It says the Board of Public Works shall be an advisory and recommending body to the town manager. I'm wondering if you added that to the Board of Assessors, Library Trustees, Planning Board, and Housing, would that throw it directly onto the town manager? So if someone was on that board and had a problem, they could go to the town manager, and the town manager can talk to the employee that's working there?
That's actually pretty much the way it's set up now. Is they're told, hey, if you have an issue, go to the town manager. The town manager will, well, is supposed to take care of it.
Yeah, but it's only the Board of Public Works has that in there. The other ones do not have that sentence. So why do
That's
we?
because of the authority that the old Board of Public Works had.
Right.
They used to be able to set rates and everything else. Now we took that authority away from them and gave the Board of Public Works in its current state an advisory to the town manager in regards to rates and things of that matter. This primarily centered around the fact that the old Board of Public Works could set the rates for the town. That's why that sentence is in that particular section.
Okay, so it wouldn't apply to the other ones?
It would, but I think that's as to Ralph's point, that's what's supposed to happen now. It's an unwritten understanding that if you've got a problem, you go to the town manager.
Yeah, but Ralph just said there's two boards that did have a problem because it
Right.
wasn't in the charter. If this was in the charter, then wouldn't that curtail it? Or no?
Only if the town manager fixes it. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, well, that's their function, right? I mean, that's just the town manager's job. If someone comes to him and says, hey, I'm on the Board of Assessors, I'm having an issue, then the town manager would sit down with the person that works for the assessors and the board and find out what the issue is and come to some type of resolution, I would think. I mean, you don't know there's a problem until someone brings it to your attention.
Anything else? Okay, seeing none, no action on that paragraph. Subparagraph B is in Board of Public Works. There shall be a Board of Public Works with 3 members, each serving staggered 3-year terms, comma, with 1 member appointed each year, period. The Board of Public Works shall be an advisory and recommending body to the town manager in matters of public works, but shall not supervise town employees, period. The town council shall set water and sewer rates based upon the recommendation of the Board of Public Works and the town manager. Period. Yes, Tom?
Hi. Nothing big. I swear.
Say
Just
it
I want
again?
stormwater rates got to go in there, I think.
Yes, they do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
This,
All right.
the problem is,
Motion?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to add, I'll change the last sentence to the town council shall set water, comma, sewer, and stormwater rates based upon the recommendations of the Board of Public Works and the town manager.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
absolutely, Larry.
Say it again?
Yes, I have something.
Go
So
ahead.
we are in the transition provisions. And at the
Oh,
time
yes,
of
yes.
transition, there was no stormwater.
Correct.
So
Well, there was, you just didn't charge.
Yeah, we weren't paying, we weren't having to pay
actually,
for it.
there was no enterprise fund or anything. The stormwater fees and all are set under the bylaw by the enterprise fund. So one, I don't think we need to add this in here. And two, I think we should get rid of this whole section anyways. We're done with the transition. Let's move
I
on
like-
from it.
I like
and
the
remove
second
it from
part
the
of that.
charter.
Yeah,
So that's another point. I guess, was there a point to naming all these appointed boards anyway? Because I don't know that they're necessarily listed anywhere else except for right here.
I think we're just showing the history of what transpired.
Yes.
Just leaving it there to show how we transitioned from elected to appointed.
So the appointed boards would just go to the bylaws. They don't need to be in the charter
Well, you needed that in the charter
for
to
transition.
remove it from elected positions to appointed,
Right.
because you were
Which is,
changing the whole form of government.
which has been done.
Right, and that's the transition article,
Right.
okay?
So now we're updating the charter.
Yeah,
So-
but if it was only reflecting what the transition procedures were in 2016, and subsequent to that came in stormwater, I don't know that you have to amend the charter to involve, because there are many things that will come into play that have changed and been added. I presume somewhere in either your bylaws or your rules and regulations, because didn't the town council vote on those rates for stormwater?
Correct.
Yes.
Right. So you're going to have that after 2016 anyway. So if you're merely looking at Article 10 as the transition article, it's really only a picture of what happened then,
So,
I think.
okay, so I guess that there's no reason to bring it current.
Not for
No,
the
'cause-
transition provisions.
No,
Right.
Maybe other articles, but transition
No, of course.
happened.
I'm sorry. I'm just speaking to Ralph's point about Article 10 as a whole.
Uh-huh.
Is there, if we're not going to change it and or remove it, is there any point in talking about it?
Always wonderful to talk to you. Yes, I think it gives further understanding to the community of what happened then, and these points bringing out, and the discussion that follows. It's important, I think, that people know what was done then, how we've changed. Maybe not this article in directly, but you saw the previous articles. We've seen how day-to-day efforts have changed what was thought to be then, and we're still working on it.
Larry,
But Ralph's point, fortunately or unfortunately, is valid, I think.
yeah, it is.
Uh,
It is.
Larry,
Yes, Bill?
at our last meeting, didn't we ask Jeannie to check with the town council so the town council could check with the town attorney on the whole Article 10?
No, I think you asked Larry Levine when we present the articles and our suggested and recommended revisions, et cetera, that we asked that Article 10 be looked upon at that point by the town attorney. I don't think we asked Jeannie. You put it on my shoulders.
Okay,
When we do our summation, to ask them whether it should still stay in.
Okay.
I would think, for whoever said it, historical reasons. When a general bylaw of the state changes, you will always see in the statute books when it was changed and normally what was the previous wording. And then if you had to, you could look at the legislative history to see why was it changed. that could be important for a number of reasons. So I still think the validity of Article 10's inclusion is important, but only for historical purposes, perhaps.
And Jeannie's assignment was to find those dates, which we talked about in the beginning of the
Correct.
meeting.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
Larry,
Yes, Ralph.
what about making a suggestion that the council consider Article 10 as an addendum to the charter for historical purposes?
We
So
can
it's
do
not
that.
actually a part of the charter, but it's after the charter where it basically says, historically, this is what happened and these are the changes that we're suggesting because the transition provisions are no longer needed.
Well, I think, I would hope we present it, when we do present it, in that fashion. Leave it up to them through their, probably getting advice from the town's attorney, whether leave it intact with maybe a statement that these were the transition provisions. They're of historical value, but they've been accomplished and life moves on. Yes, Tom.
On that note, Dr. Levine,
Yes,
I
sir.
would like to rescind my motion.
And who was the second?
I've got Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah,
Marilyn,
Marilyn, will you
I'll
withdraw?
right.
Okay. All right. So are there any other comments on Board of Public Works? Seeing or hearing none, no action on that. Subparagraph C, Library Trustees. There shall be 6 library trustees, each serving staggered 3-year terms, comma, with 2 members appointed annually, period. The library trustee shall perform any state or federally mandated functions or those established by town bylaw, comma, but shall not supervise town employees, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, no action.
I just remembered something, Larry.
Uh-oh.
When you all were going through the charter, I think the reason why the advisory language was put under the Board of Public Works was because all the other boards had some sort of statutory requirements. And what statutory requirements did the Board of Public Works actually have? And I don't think they did. And that's why the advisory language was put in there. Does that ring a bell with anybody?
No, but it
No,
makes sense.
not with me.
No, it doesn't, but yeah.
Makes sense.
No, that, I don't recall it. I don't
Well,
recall
I
that
remember
discussion.
hearing it somewhere, from somewhere, that's
Looking
why,
at it.
you know, they're not a special permitting, they don't have that authority. They really, to sort of, I don't want to say this, but really to legitimize their being there.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, I think the discussion centered around at the time, because under the old form of government, the Board of Public Works established the rates.
Among other
So-
things, they were a very powerful board.
Yes, they were. So this took the power away from them and specifically made them an advisory board reporting to the town council and the town manager.
Okay, that's fine. I just saw that everyone else had performed state or federally mandated procedures, whatever, or requirements, and there's nothing like that
Right.
on the Board of Public Works.
Good point.
I don't know. I mean, maybe by statute, they were required to do rate setting, but I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Sorry.
I don't think so.
Neither do I, but
Didn't
I
we,
don't know.
Nice.
Larry, and Ralph, didn't we talk about eliminating the Board of Public Works?
That's right.
Yes.
We talked about that at one time when we were making this charter, when we were drafting a charter,
Mhm.
because they
Yes,
didn't
but-
have any
but,
real regulations.
We ended up because we knew of the importance of the Board of Public Works.
Correct, but I'm just saying that it was floated out there
It was,
That's right.
to eliminate it.
it was.
Then you'd have people like me out there with no oversight at all. That's dangerous.
Yes, well said.
Okay,
All
He
right.
agreed with you.
that's not going to be in the minutes, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
It's on
Bill.
tape, on tape. All right. Subparagraph D, Planning Board. There shall be a planning board with 5 members serving staggered 5-year terms, comma, with 1 member appointed each year, period. The planning board shall perform any state or federally mandated functions or those established by town bylaw, comma, but shall not supervise town employees, period. Comments, discussion, questions? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Subparagraph E, Housing Authority. There shall be a housing authority with a total of 5 members, period. 4 members shall be appointed for 5-year staggered terms, comma, with 1 member appointed annually, period. The 5th member shall be appointed by the state pursuant to provisions of general law, period. The housing authority shall perform any state or federally mandated functions or those established by town bylaw, comma, but shall not supervise town employees, period. Questions, comments, discussion? Seeing and hearing none, no action. And the last subsection in section 9, subparagraph F, Board of Health. There shall be a Board of Health composed of 3 members serving staggered 3-year terms, comma, with 1 member to be appointed annually, period. The Board of Health shall perform any state or federally mandated function, comma, or such functions as may be established by town bylaw, comma, but shall not supervise town employees, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, no action. Jeff, how am I doing on time, Jeff?
About 7 minutes.
Okay, I'll keep going. Section 10, transition provisions. The town council shall have authority to adopt measures that clarify, comma, confirm, or extend any of the transition provisions in order that the transition may be made in the most expeditious and least contentious manner possible, period. Discussion, questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, no action. And the other, that's the end.
Fiend.
What?
Fiend.
I can't hear you, Tom.
Sorry, end.
End.
I was doing my French there.
Okay, fini.
So we're all done.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
not quite, young
Oh,
man.
no.
Okay. All right, let me make a suggestion and you can poo-poo it. We have a number of written comments to us from, I'm guessing about 5 or 7 people. Shall we review those for the next meeting and make comments and have discussion about those? And encourage the public, if they have further questions, comments, now that they've seen our wonderful faces and heard our dialogue for the last umpteen months, they can submit them so we can discuss them at least for next meeting. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah,
Okay,
Sounds like
that
a
was a
plan.
reluctant okay.
yeah.
All right, so can I assign that homework assignment to all of us to do that? And then we can discuss not only the comments and questions, but also who we would like to invite to meet with us subsequent to our discussion.
Sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
All right,
Larry,
so,
do we
having
have
seen, say it
sorry.
again, Tom?
I'm sorry, do we have I printed everybody's comments out, whatever, how many months ago, like you said. Do we have a list of all the things we should be going over? I know there was plenty of council comments. I just want to make sure we go through everything we need to go through, and I printed everything out, I guess, because it was so long ago.
Okay, Do you want to know who we should be reviewing, or do you want to?
No, so I know like Pat Henry had a bunch of comments, Tom
Right.
O'Connor had a bunch of comments, Kathy. So I just want to make sure, sorry, Marilyn wants to go.
No, I just have I have the pile right here. I could just read off the list very carefully.
Perfect, that would be great.
Oh,
Go, Marilyn.
All right, we have a packet from Diane Tiago, Library, Kathy Hill, Pat Henry, Tom O'Connor, Jean Quaglietti. I believe, no, that seems to be it. No, Ralph Page, there's ballot questions. I'm not sure, Ralph, that's something, I think we covered that already, right? Ralph, you submitted a ballot question?
I have no clue.
All
I'll
right.
have to review.
I mean, that's enough to keep us busy right now.
Yeah.
And I'll go.
Thank
through
you,
the rest of the
thank you,
file.
Marilyn.
Oh, you're welcome.
And again, we encourage the public, got any questions, comments, send them in as quickly as possible. All right,
Related to the charter.
pertaining to the charter.
Yeah, oh yeah, narrow it down.
Yes, please, yeah. We have no
Larry, how are we
problem.
going to get that word out to the people?
Well, there's been, on LCAT, there have been regular statements. What's today, Tuesday?
Yeah,
I guess I could call the reminder in the morning and see if it's too late. I presume it's too late to get in this week's
yeah, I
edition.
think it is too.
Oh, I think it is.
It
We
is.
can ask, if we want to ask LCAT if they could promote that even more.
we
Well-
could. We certainly could.
Let me throw
Thank
this
you,
out.
Doctor.
We don't necessarily need the public's comments. We've got enough work here to keep us busy for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Right.
Marilyn?
Just for clarification, the ballot question I was referencing, Ralph, it had to do with putting on the ballot the recodification of all the town bylaws as one subject. Does that ring a bell?
It does, actually. We had talked to Jeannie about it, and the town attorney is supposed,
It just ended up in this pile of stuff.
Yep.
I don't think it has anything to do with the charter.
No, I don't either.
Right, so we're all set.
Okay.
Quick question, Larry. Is it possible to use the robocall system? I know we get calls as residents pertaining to different situations, like they just had the last one about the health department with the calendar for recycling being inaccurate. Is that something where we could put a short bleep to allow people to participate in this?
Any other comments? How do you people feel about that? Yes, Marilyn?
We'll try.
I feel strongly that we should leave that particular item for mass notice of something of a public health nature, or perhaps when they're flushing our hydrants or something and our water's going to get rusty. If we all start using it, and I know what you're saying, Phil, but if we all start using it, it's going to become somewhat of a nuisance issue, and I don't want to do that.
Yes, Dr. Mackey?
So I would invite you, Larry, if you would like, if you're comfortable, you can be socially.
I know where this is going.
I do
distant
too.
here in the studio. Yeah, I'd come over and do a PSA and just explain it. We'll put it up online as a separate item, run a minute or so, 2 minutes. And I think that would
Good
get
idea.
a few more views than people picking it out of this particular meeting or any other meeting. We do have the slide running on the bulletin board, but I think sometimes people get inured to that kind of stuff too, so.
Okay. Anyone have objection to me attempting that?
If you want if you want some company, I'd be more than happy to join you, Larry.
You have to wear makeup, though.
Yeah, we're gonna stick to one person in the studio.
All right.
With the
Okay.
nothing against, sorry, Bill, I didn't mean that.
Yeah,
No.
geez.
I know what you mean.
I'm just
All right.
trying to,
Dr. Mackey, may I call you in the morning?
you certainly may.
What should I call you?
Not
All
late
right, I
for
wanted to
supper.
make sure you were all still awake. All right. Next meeting, the 24th, same time, 4:30.
Yes, sir.
Good. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
We had multiples. A second.
Second,
All those in favor, Bill Fonseca,
Yes.
Larry Levine, yes. Marilyn Richards,
Yes.
Bill Adams,
yes.
Tom Christensen,
Yes.
Ralph Page,
Yes.
Andy Frazier,
Yes.
and Jeff Bosworth.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, kids. Good job today. See you
Okay,
next
Thank
week.
you. Goodbye.
Stay well.
See ya.
Good night. Thanks.
All right.